All right. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are live streaming. We're on Kickstarter. Should be on YouTube. We should be on Facebook. So if you're watching us, let us know where you're watching from. But this is the Happy Hill 1 through 5 end of campaign party. And we have Joe Mulvey and Rich Douek in the house. How you guys doing?
Good, good. How are you, man? You look like you're in an undisclosed location.
I said he looks like he's he looks like a serial killer being grilled on like CSI, Nantucket or wherever Bostonian area he's in.
I know my new anonymous background. I gotta put something back there, but I haven't decided. I haven't the pot commit to something.
What is that show that's 2020? That's what it looks like. Like, everyone thought Tyler was innocent until he came in for questioning.
It's good.
I have a really StreamYard does a cool you can do a background, but it destroys the bandwidth. So we would be coming like that, all right, so here we go. What do we got going on here? This is the Happy Hill 1 through 5 end of campaign party. I am excited just to be your host here. During the stream, you're going to get to meet and hang out with the creators of Happy Hill. We get the chance to celebrate 350 plus backers who have helped us fund the book and unlock a bunch of stretch goals. We had our backers were nice enough to submit a bunch of really good questions. So we'll be doing some Q&A. And as we always like to do on here, we've got a lot of bonus prizes and things that we want to give out. So should be a lot of fun. Just in case you were wondering, I am Tyler James. I'm tonight's moderator. I'm the publisher of ComixTribe, and I'm the host of the Comics Launch podcast. We also have Joe Mulvey, the Burt Kreischer of comics. He's been known in some circles. He is the illustrator and comic book and storyboard artist. He's also the artist of books like Wailing Blade, the writer-artist of Scam and Mummy's Always Right, and of course, Happy Hill. And then we have Rich Douek. Where is his slide? Right there. Comic book writer, award-winning copywriter, creator of the Wailing Blade. Rich also does Road to Bone, Sea of Sorrows. He's written some Superman, Gutter Magic, and of course, scripting Happy Hill. How you guys are you excited about how the campaign's going so far, guys?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. As usual, we are super happy to have all our fans come back that have been following the series from the beginning. I think I kind of feel like each one we've been getting more and more people that are into the story. So it's awesome.
Yeah, Joe and I were just talking about Kickstarter and serialization and just how it really has become a really great avenue to get books into people's hands that might not otherwise see it. And this was the first ComixTribe series where we actually did launches for each issue of the series. And so it's nice to see many returning backers with every launch, and then also many backers backing for the first time. And I think one of the cool things about why this works so well on Kickstarter compared to other places, even comic shops, and we love comic shops, but there's a big barrier of entry if you are jumping in and you see a really badass cover and it's issue number 5. It's what's this all about? And they don't have issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the shops. And I feel like more and more comic shops are not investing in big backlists nowadays. So that's someone that's maybe I'll get the trade if I see that, right? But yeah.
And not everybody has a comic shop near them. It's if you don't live near a town or city that has one, you're basically stuck with Amazon, if that, or eBay or something. So
absolutely,
Kickstarter has been great.
So I'm sure we have a lot of our backers watching, and you can feel free if you're watching on either Facebook or YouTube, you can leave a comment and we can see that. But we're also going to probably get this in front of a lot of people that maybe haven't backed yet or haven't even heard of Happy Hill yet. So what I'm going to do now is just play a 45-second teaser of the book, and then I'll let Joe tell us a little bit more about the series to see if we can entice a few more backers that maybe haven't checked it out yet.
Happy Hill is a supernatural vacation thriller comic book series about the deadly consequences of the pursuit of happiness. When a young girl goes missing at the Happy Hill Resort, all its sinister secrets will finally come to light. The hills are alive with the sound of screaming.
All right, we're back. So that's the Happy Hill teaser. Joe, I mean, this is something that we've been talking about for several years, long conversations or whatever. Anything else you want to just tell people about the Happy Hill book if they haven't checked it out? And also, how does it feel to now have like the first book, the first volume wrapped up and about to be out into the world?
It feels great. I owe a great debt of gratitude to Mr. Douek for coming in and making a real nice diamond out of my turd that I first brought to him with the original idea. I want people to have a good time with comics. I think that like a lot of time with continuity and all this other stuff, and maybe I'm just listening to my own people I talk to in the comic shop, but I wanted it to be a one and done story to where you can go and every single time you pick up the next issue, you know you're going to have a great time from cover to cover. You're going to meet some fun characters. You're going to have some laughs, some scares, some thrills, and you're going to hopefully connect and care with the characters. And thanks to Rich's help, shaping the writing, I think it made the story, sing a lot better. I think Chris Sotomayor, colorist extraordinaire, makes my line work look not as awful as it is. And what Hassan has done with the letters is just like next level all over the place. So I think it's just an awesome package altogether. I can't wait to be able to hold all the issues in my hand together and kind of to the people who have come back and who have read the first four and are really hanging on for the fifth chapter to see what happens. I really can't wait to see what they think of how it ends, because it's not what I would consider a traditional ending of sorts. There's a little bit of a, we're going to a next place after this, and I'm very curious to know what people think.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the reaction as well. If you have not jumped in, we got a really good deal on Kickstarter. I feel like 2 issues for $20. You're actually going to get both of the standard edition versions of the series. So you're going to get two awesome covers from Joe, and also a campaign exclusive, not sold in stores, not sold anywhere else after this campaign, Woodsman trading card that's included in that. We've also, because of stretch goals, unlocked a Woodsman sticker for all backers. So they'll get a really cool sticker and a cool double-sided bookmark. And we've been partnering up with some other creators who have live projects on Kickstarter and have also been doing the serialization thing. And so there's actually backers like right now, as soon as you pledge, have access to 6 awesome #1s from other really great high caliber series that have been Kickstarter funded, and that also have projects for like collected volumes or later issues live on Kickstarter. So tremendous value for your 20 spot. We also do have 4 new covers for this one, including ComixTribe exclusive inks only cover, an ink only cover. You'll see that there. And then also we're doing another really cool, highly limited metal cover that is that kicks butt. And so we have a deal when you get all 4 of the new covers. And if this is your first time getting exposed to the series, we have a really inexpensive way to get all 5 issues of the series. And also, if you want to get all 10 of the standard edition covers, we've got a great deal on that as well. So a lot of awesome stuff over there on Kickstarter. And for our international backers, I know we're probably reaching some people across the seas. I know sometimes it's tough for them to support Kickstarters just because of the extra shipping costs. And so one thing that we decided to do this time around is there's a print set bundle that includes one print that's going to be signed by Joe. And that is included free for all international backers. And if our U.S. backers want to add that, it's just $20 to add 4 prints, one of them signed by Joe. But sometimes we like to do a little bit of something extra, knowing that it costs our international backers sometimes a little bit more to support us. And then last I checked, I'd actually have to update this. I think we were like less than $30 away from unlocking another bonus where if you're spending at least $40 in your pledge, we're going to hook you up with a mystery ComixTribe variant, one of our many variants that we released over the years to Happy Hill or perhaps another series. You're not going to know what it is, but it's going to be worth at least $15 in value. We're going to include that in your pledge for free if we get to 11K. So help us push us there. And then also, we did this last time, and so I'm going to put this out again. We like to, during these live sessions, give away bonuses and things like that. And so if you are an existing backer who is you're already backing and you want to help us hit those new stretch goals, if you upgrade your pledge by any amount during this stream, go add on something else or whatever to your pledge, or just throw a few extra bucks our way that you can then use in credit when we send out the backer kit. If you upgrade your pledge at all during this live stream, you're going to get a little something extra in your pledge added. We're able to see that information. We know when you back and when you add and when you adjust. So if you make an adjustment during this pledge up, then to help us hit these stretch goals in our final close here, we're going to hook you up. All right. And we're also we put a call out to our backers for questions and comments to help feed this live stream. And we said we were going to pull from the names of backers that submit stuff and do some bonus giveaways. And so I do have a bonus that we're going to give away right now. Let's see what we have here. First is this right here. This is looks like yeah, here we go. So this right here is a here. I'm going to sort this a couple times. And let's spin. Wailing Blade, a bonus comic from the ComixTribe crew. And we got Joe back. Joe, Shane Graves is our first lucky winner here.
All right, congrats, Shane.
Now, what did Shane?
All right.
Is he the one I'm getting the name tattooed on my back?
Right here.
Oh, it's right here. I get it. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Maybe I can just put S Graves, like, so it looks cool.
Tonight, all of our winners. And then the final grand prize winner actually gets to do the tattoo.
That's great. But can we just say
Don't
no
say
one
we
with
don't
that?
go above and beyond for our
I don't want anyone with a shaky hand. I need somebody who's 100% going to be focused. I hope Ryan Level wins that one.
Yeah, I got the Wailing Blade tattoo.
Oh, that's right. That was a stretch goal, wasn't it?
That is dedication to the cause.
All right, Zach, we're gonna
like if we I'm going
All right. See if all right, there we go. All right, we're going to jump in and answer some questions. First batch of questions are on inspiration, advice, and process questions. So this was a question that came up, similar question from our good buddy George O'Connor. George says, hey Joe Rich, first time, long time. When you were first thinking of this idea, was there a scene, visual, or moment that made you feel, oh now I have to tell this story?
Was there a scene for the story? I'm assuming, like the onus of this, and I'm gonna probably knock out a bunch of questions with this. I was with my wife years ago, and I want to say it was in an antique shop. And in an antique shop, there was a photo, and the visual you have right now, Tyler, on the screen.
Yeah.
That was the photo. Obviously, not a kid being tortured, but it was like a person in a gas mask with a top hat on, and this image, and then like family around him. So like it looked like probably was like maybe the early 19th century, like the little fur coat, little like maybe the 1910s or 1920s, whatever it was. And I took a photo of it with my cell phone, and it burned itself into my head. And I was like, man, there's a story like there. And that visual just kind of kept in my head. And then that visual is what turned into the woodsman and turned into the whole family that's in the story and stuff like that. But that was the thing that stuck with me to kind of tell the story. So yeah. I'm an artist. I go visual first a lot of times, where like I see a cool inspiration for a character design, and then I let that take me somewhere with a story. And this was 100% how like Happy Hill kind of got birthed.
Yeah, and that was Adam Clausen's question about did you have any inspiration for the woodsman character based on anything or anyone? And I remember like this was like this image that's on the screen here was the very first thing that you drew that for the story that ended up becoming Happy Hill, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was, and again, the great Chris Sotomayor colored it, and it was like the way Chris made the blood from the jelly donut kind of spread all around the table and stuff like that. And that was when the story had a little bit of a different it was put together differently. And then, like I said, to the credit of Rich Douek, he came in and was like, okay, you have like 9,000 great ideas, but we need to kind of funnel it, down a narrative. And he made the story a lot better by doing that. But yeah, that was it. That's the onus of where the kind of whole world came from.
Yeah.
I remember Chris posting that donut, like a crop of it. He was very proud of the work he did on that.
Yes,
like he got the frosting like mwah.
Yeah, but can we also talk about the not argument? There was no argument. It was just he was disgusted by me because he said, because I like, and I hope I'm not going to lose any backers right now. I do not like anything sweet. I don't like desserts. I don't like candy. I don't like cakes, pies, cookies, or donuts. And Chris said this was the first time he ever knew I was being honest about that. He never really believed it. But when I drew a jelly donut with a hole in the middle, he knew 100% I had never eaten donuts. He's like, I didn't think in the beginning you were telling the truth. But he's like, when you drew a jelly donut with a hole, and I'm like, it was like, it was new to me. I'm like, what do you mean? Why couldn't a jelly donut have a hole in it? He goes, you just don't know donuts, man.
Like, if it doesn't have a hole, it's not a donut.
Yeah, I was just like, why? It makes it more three-dimensional to have the hole in the middle, but whatever. I guess my dessert faux pas is what shows through.
Yeah. So thanks to George and Andrew for the question there. I did want to also mention George is I believe his campaign is ending right around the same time ours is. He's got a really cool one for his series, Charlie Spot. So definitely check that out if you're looking to spend a little more Kickstarter money tonight.
And also, George is a tremendous writer.
Yeah.
An even better human being. He has tremendous hair.
He's a great musician too.
And I was going to say, and a great guitarist, a great musician. I shouldn't say guitarist, but
he wrote a heavy metal theme for Wailing Blade that we used during the campaign. It was awesome.
That is actually the Happy Hill anthem is also George. So.
Yeah, we even put it up on Spotify. So
he's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Multi-talented, that George O'Connor. We like that guy. Awesome. So next up, Sean Rucker says, "Love ComixTribe. You guys always put out great work. Question for the live stream: with the Comics Broke Me thing going on over Twitter, what is your advice to the struggling indie creator to bridge the gap until they can make money?"
Rich, do you want to handle that? You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Let the guy named Rich
tell
you answer the money questions.
Yeah.
I'd say that we're on it right now. I think crowdfunding and Kickstarter is probably one of the strongest tools you have to be able to keep creating despite whatever the options are as far as publishing deals go right now, because a lot of them are not great. They're not all like I would say like most of them aren't like predatory bad, like, you know, the kind where like they're trying to like screw you, even though there are a few that do. I would say most of them are just like the reality of the situation is just there's not a ton of money to go around. But you know, if you're an indie creator and you want to keep creating, the great thing about Kickstarter is that you do not have to worry about contracts with anybody but yourself. You know what I mean? So you can design your project for success. You can keep putting stuff out, and then if you are going to traditional publishers, it's like the more successful you are on your own, you can try to wrangle for better deals. But the other thing is that if you're successful on your own with like Kickstarter and your crowdfunded things, you might be able to accept a deal that's less than optimal from a traditional publisher and not have it break you. You know what I mean? Like, you might be able to say like, okay, well, I have other goals. I really want to see my thing in a comic shop with, you know, such and such company's logo on it. They don't want to pay me a lot. I don't know if I can do it, but you know, a lot of publishers are willing to work with you with funding the thing that you're trying to put through them on Kickstarter. Or it's just the sort of thing where if you have a lot of different revenue streams coming in, having one be less than perfect will, you know, it's not great. Nobody wants to take a deal that's not great. But if you have, it's sort of like big picture. Sometimes it makes sense to take a deal that's not as good as it could be if it's going to get you something else that you want. So if you're talking about like bridging the gap, it's like, I'd say like to avoid getting broken, it's to never, as much as you can, not have to rely on one single publisher or one single market, you know? So it's like you can do stuff with direct market publishers, do stuff on your own on Kickstarter or another crowdfunding platform. Just do as much as you can to like get money coming in from different sources, so that if like one source is kind of like starting to drag you down a little bit, another one could lift you up, and you'll be okay.
I'm just going to add on to Rich's thing here. I know that this is a big thing that's going on or was going on Twitter. I do pop in on Twitter and I kind of try to like to, you know, spread the word about the campaign and post some art and do all this other stuff. But I'm not really, I don't follow hashtags and I don't follow a lot of narratives because I just got a lot of stuff going on during the day. I will say something, though, that I don't think it's enough credit with all this stuff that's going on right now. And it's very specific to the group we have here. The nice thing about Tyler James, even though, yes, he looks like he's in the Diary of a Serial Killer with the lighting he has right now, but Tyler James has managed to help creators, help put out books, and help bring crowdfunding to like a next level, to help the creators and to help the books get out there. So I think a real good thing, and I should probably jump on Twitter and write about it and say this, but sincerely, I think that if comics have broken you, and I'm sorry for any hardships people have gone through, I hope that you can get through the hardship. I hope that you can learn from the hardship, rebound from it, be a better creator in person from it. But at the same time, I think that maybe we're not doing the right thing by not spreading the word about how good ComixTribe can be to creators and to helping people with a learning curve, from people just entering or people wanting to get into the comic industry, wanting to get into crowdfunding, and wanting to like be taken care of by good people. Because I can say this from personal experience that I can't imagine any publisher having a better deal than ComixTribe does, where they're they're not taking your IP, they're not predatory, they're not anything. If you really want to find a good publisher that will let you put your book out, let you learn with and from them, and kind of benefit from everything economically, experience wise, it's ComixTribe. So I think that that's kind of something that I hope to, obviously after this live stream is over, I'll go and I'll post about it, because I really do think that it's a really good publisher that does help the creators, that it has the benefit and the whatever you want to say, the choices that you make and who you publish, all of the people that we can pull, John Lees, we can pull all the names, Ryan Lindsay, Rich Douek, myself, the litany list of people that you've published are all better creators for having come through with ComixTribe. And it's a small publisher. It's not a publisher that's going to be able to do 50 books a month, but the people that get, accepted by ComixTribe genuinely do learn a lot and get a lot of the benefits of the head honcho, Tyler James.
Yeah. And the only other
Joe, that's
I didn't say to
That's
speak,
nice of you to
Tyler.
say.
I didn't say you were good at talking. I don't know why you took that as a nice thing. Okay.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to add is that, very tragically, Comics Broke Me came about because of the death of Ian McGinty, who's a very talented artist and really nice guy. And I think that's like one thing to keep in mind, is that your health's got to come first. If you're working in indie comics, and don't like sacrifice your health or your sanity just because you feel like there's no other choice but to work yourself to death over shitty contracts, good contracts, whatever, just everybody needs to slow down sometimes, and don't let your it's great to have a work ethic, but don't let it consume you.
nice. Yeah, I don't have much to add to that beyond part of it is an expectation game. I feel like go into comics understanding that there's less elite jobs in comics than there is in the NBA. And as many people have probably watched or tried playing basketball at one time or another, then have read a comic book or thought, I'm creative, or have written a story. And so understand that there's all different levels to this thing, and there's not that many elite full-time, all you can do is create comics, and that alone will be your sole source of an awesome income in life. Even some of the biggest names in comics also teach, because they like things like healthcare, or also have other
boring. Everyone wants a Ferrari. Ferraris are much cooler than healthcare. Okay.
Yeah. Being Canadian works for that too. So
that is true.
Yeah.
Being a Canadian comic creator, the Triple C is a deadly combo.
Or sugar mamas and daddies. If you can get yourself one of those, it's perfect. Next question was George Biggs, another frequent ComixTribe Kickstarter supporter. Thank you once again, George. He says, I don't think I've come across a book from ComixTribe that wasn't top tier. How do you keep your output so consistent? And I think that really just comes down to my incredible taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you'll see a lot of the same names in the ComixTribe books that we do. We tend to work with people that, lo and behold, they make good books, and the reason so we keep putting out books by them. I think is a part of it. I also think, like, while ComixTribe has never really had a super focused, we are the publisher that does this. All of our books go through like this process of like, can I see myself at a convention being really excited to tell somebody about it, right? And so they have to have like really strong art, compelling hooks, and the kind of thing that like we'd be excited to put this book in people's hands and not oversell it. And rather, in fact, sometimes like put it in their hands, pitch it to them, and know that like they're going to be like, wow, all right, maybe I'll sell it, I'll buy this book, get this person off my back, and then they read it and they're like, holy crap, that was really good. What else do you got? Like, that's something that I love. I love that experience. Just got back did my first convention a month and a half ago, and it was great to just see so many people coming back, being like, hey, missed you guys for the past couple of years. What's new? And it makes it pretty easy. But yeah, I don't know. Joe, what makes your books, what makes your output so damn good and consistent?
Working with people who make me look better, right? That's it. I get a head honcho like Tyler James to spearhead a Kickstarter that has all the dominoes set up in a row. I get Rich Douek to put words in the people's mouth that I can draw, and I get Chris Sotomayor to color it, Hassan to letter it, or Taylor Esposito, or you just work with talented people, and that's it. I do think, though, like to your point, the fun of being at a ComixTribe booth at a show is, and I think you've said this from day one, Tyler, you'll put ComixTribe books up against any other book on the stand. The quality is going to be there, the skill is going to be there, and I mean you're starting to see it in a lot of other places. I mean, Rich is working for Boom, he's working for Marvel, he's working for DC. John Lees is working for AWA, Aftershock, Vault. Like it's just making quality stuff, putting it out there, and connecting with an audience. And if you're lucky enough to go to a convention and see John Lees, who I believe is right now at Heroes Con this weekend, or see Rich Douek or Tyler or myself, I'm not gonna lie, we're a hell of a good time to come talk to us. You know what I mean? Like if you bought one of our books, if you've ever backed a book by us, if you've ever thought about, if you've retweeted a thing about it, please know that when you come to a show, you have a friend in me already. You come to the table, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna have a good conversation and have some fun. And hopefully that's what we do inside the books too.
Yeah. I think it's like there's two things. It's like, number one, it's just the passion everybody has for the books, like as creators. Like there's no book that like I've worked on with ComixTribe that I haven't like really like felt in my bones that like I want to make this book. And I know like Happy Hill, like that's like for you, Joe, it's like, something that you've been like in your head for like so long, and like you just had to get it out. And like John and Alex with Sync, it's like just as creators, it's like these are books that we really want to do, and Tyler gives us the leeway to do them the way we want to do them. He's like a really good it's a really good publisher in the sense of like, if you have a vision for a book, Tyler's not going to try to say, okay, but then let's do this, and this. It's like he's very focused on helping you achieve that vision. So I think that really helps. And I think the other thing is that as a publisher, ComixTribe goes all in on every book. You know what I mean? When you're working with like a direct market publisher that's putting out 10 titles a month, 15 titles a month, whatever it is, it's like they've got to kind of divvy up their marketing and their attention and what they talk about. It's divvied up amongst all those books, and your book's not always going to be the one that's number one priority for them. Like if I have a book with Boom and James Tynion the Fourth has a book coming out the same week, guess who's getting most of the press? It's not going to be me. And that's not a knock on James. It's just, that's just the reality. But I know that with ComixTribe, when we're doing a book, ComixTribe as a publisher is like all in on our book, and that's it for the time that we're doing the campaign and for the time that we're selling it. So that's just, I think, a real benefit of selling it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to be focused. It's nice to be able to just like I end up saying no to a lot of projects. We could take on more projects, but I'm also thinking about like, how does this book fit with the stable and the audience that we have, and you know, I think there is a sense of like always wanting to sort of one up and improve and build upon what's been the tracks that have laid before. So now like the bar is pretty darn high for what a ComixTribe book is. So so it's, you know, I want to keep it that way. Like I don't have the desire to put out 1 million books that are going to be forgettable, you know, a week after they're out. So yeah, I think that's part of it, you know, so I appreciate it. See, we have some folks watching and commenting on both Facebook and YouTube. Sorry about the lag occasionally. Sometimes StreamYard gets a little busy here, but we're for the most part going strong. I want to looks like we had Jay Burns from Triangle of Truth. Jay does a lot of videos and unboxings for ComixTribe stuff. He says he's not in on this Kickstarter, but it will definitely hop in on the Happy Hill hardcover. Keep up. See, we've trained Jay to expect the premium collections, and now we.
I have such an idea for that.
So yeah,
we're gonna have to speak when this is off, because I have such an idea. I don't know what it's going to cost printing wise, but with the Wailing Blade one and how we had the die cut, I have this new idea for this one. We got to see if we could do it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. You know, and Joe is somebody that took out a billboard for his first book release. So, you know,
yeah. I have ideas.
Always pushing the envelope around here.
But again, that goes to your credit, right? Like we were having a conversation of like, how do we
next question is.
Sorry, go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
No, yeah. Next question, Joe. This one's for you. Elise Feldman asks, how did you develop your art style? Did you get formal art training or go independently or both? And she also said, I think horror naturally moves in a visual medium, but how do you combine your love of horror with art and comics and graphic novel work? And to that point, one thing just about Joe, since I've been working with him for a decade now, plus is every project he's done has kind of been like a little bit of a different genre. He's did a sort of a modern suits and superpowers book, did a sci-fi fantasy book, did a children's book, and Happy Hill, and your style is simultaneously both like unique to the book, but also like easily instantly identifiable as Mulvey. And so it's been fun to just see you being able to tackle different genres. But like when you think about your own development, like what strikes as how you got to this point, Joe?
I can't say that I have a lot of traditional stuff. I just was very lucky to like be kind of like, I don't want to say tutored, but I worked in an artist studio in my early 20s with people who kind of put me on the right course to how to do certain things with art. Nelson Blake, Brian Edward Hill, like these are guys that like I got to work with. Stephen Harris, that like helped me really develop better as an artist. Stop doing this, start doing this, like gave me the right books to read, gave me all that kind of stuff. And then the rest of it is just genuinely, I'm a fan of the medium. So like I came into comics knowing nothing of comics. I just saw like a cool visual in a candy store, and the visual made me want to draw. Like that's all I could say. Like, and I was a sports kid. I was baseball, softball, football, like hockey, you know. And then all of a sudden I saw this and I was like, oh, I don't want to go out and play football right now. I want to try to draw and get like, you know, as good as these other people. And then Todd McFarlane, you know, I saw him and it blew my mind. And I was like, I just want to do that. Like whatever feeling I'm getting from opening this book and looking at these images, I want to do that to other people. It was like, I'm sure the same way, you know, actors do something, magicians or comedians, you know, people who are in performing art. I think comics are performing art. I know it's not as, you know, consistent. We don't do everything right in the face of the customers, but to me, you're trying to get people to emote some way from cover to cover. And I just kind of keep studying stuff and seeing stuff I like. And I think, I mean, my influences are obviously Todd McFarlane, Art Adams is huge, Frank Quietly, you know, every major comic artist. I don't look at Mike Mignola. I don't look at any specific comic art as good or bad. I just learn from it. I just like to be a student of the game. And then the other thing that I find that really helps me with comics is the collaboration part. Like when I work with a good writer, when I work with a good editor, when I work with a good colorist, they kind of make me better. So that's kind of like been my journey going through it. But what I would say is if you're someone looking for it, leap into the collaborating thing of it. Because I think the thing that held me back for a long time was wanting to do everything myself. And I think that it stagnated me where I needed more input from other people to kind of help me kind of advance and go different places.
Nice. Next question from Joe Stefano. Joe is tuning in to the live stream as well. What's up, Joe? He says, huge fan here. What exactly in the horror genre made you create such dark characters and creatures in your story? Was there a specific movie or book you liked as a kid in horror? And so this is a good discussion question and something I'd love to hear the fans chime in on as well. So the question, what's the scariest book or movie that influenced you most as a kid? But I'm curious, Rich, is there one particular that jumps out to you as like the scariest movie that?
I think if we're going back to like when I was a kid, probably the scariest movie I ever saw was when I was a kid was Jaws. That like was crazy, and I know like it's not like a straight up horror movie, but just like the music, like the tension they were building, like, you know, the jump scares. It's like it's all there. It's like, you know, like that like you know, like I think that's what I love about horror is just that it can kind of bring out these crazy feelings in you, you know, like fear and like terror and like, you know, have you like jumping out of your seat, but it's almost like in a amusement park ride kind of way, because you know you're safe, like you're watching a movie, you're reading a book, like you're not in danger, but like you get that physical reaction of like being in danger, you know, or like, you know, being freaked out or stuff like that. So I think that's what I just love about horror in general. And yeah, I think like Jaws is probably like the one from my childhood that I remember most. But in terms of influences, like I'm really like John Carpenter's The Thing is like a huge influence on me. Some other ones like Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, where, you know, what I love about Return of the Living Dead is it's like it's horror / comedy, and it's, you know, it can be like gross and it can be horrific, and it could also like be one of the funniest stories that you know see. So,
well, hold on, I want to jump in. Joe just said The Shining.
Oh
right?
yeah, Shining.
Yeah.
And to me, what I love about anything I create is that I feel like for me, like a good horror story has to have the environment. Like, yeah, I know the new Scream was set in New York City. I haven't seen it yet, but like I've seen a million things in New York City. But when I don't know the place, like I didn't know the Overlook Hotel, right? None of us did. When you go into that movie, you're stuck in that environment. And that's exactly what I wanted for Happy Hill. Like I wanted it to be like when you're in Happy Hill, like that's why like if you've backed the book and you've read the first couple issues, the first issue I try to hit you over the head with the epic scale of this place, right? Like like with a huge fishbowl double page spread of like the entranceway into it and then the entranceway onto the grounds and I want you to feel like you're happily trapped, if there's such a set, like you're happily trapped in this place that's like Disneyland during the day and hell on earth during the night. Like that's what I wanted to be the thing that got across. And I think to me, the scariest movie I ever saw as a kid that I literally ran screaming from the movie theater as a little child was the Gremlins, right? Now, Gremlins probably wasn't that scary of a movie. I haven't watched it since, but I remember like, and I know I'm spoiling here, so guys, put your fingers in your ears, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to be spoiled, but if you feed a Mogwai past midnight, no good things will happen. This is just something you need to know. And this little cute, like puppy-looking, like creature named Gizmo just starts squirting these hairy balls all over the house that he's in, and I just remember being like, oh, that's gross. And then seeing them like metamorphosize, I was like, what has just happened? What has just happened in this movie? And I remember that. But then to Joe DeStefano, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, but to Joe's point, The Shining was the next movie I saw that was like, it was all suspense, and it like you made the horror in your head. You were worried about what was going to happen next, and you were in that one location. So I think I'm gonna say those are the scarier books, scarier movies and influences for me.
Yeah, for everybody mentioning Phantasm, the tall man, fucking creepy as hell. So.
I've never seen Phantasm. I don't want to offend anyone.
When I think about scary movies, because I didn't watch a lot of them, in my house. So scary movies were kind of like the go to a buddy's sleepover, and there's like 5 prepubescent kids, and somebody's got an older brother or a dad with a serious VHS collection. So like The Shining definitely was watched there, and then Pet Sematary was another one that really got me. But like when I think about it, like the scariest thing, the part that like really like effed me in Pet Sematary was like the just when the 3-year-old got hit by like a freaking Mack truck, and that's been that is like movies that have like real life horror along with the supernatural horror, and sometimes the real life horror like is just as scarier in some points.
Can I tell you something real time right now? I've never seen Pet Sematary. I know that a kid died in it, but until right now, I never knew how he died. I never knew he got hit by a Mack truck.
Joe, there's a movie you haven't seen, an old movie that everyone's seen that you haven't. This is like crazy. I believe I'm hearing this.
For those people who are not in on the inside joke, I have not seen a lot of things. And by the way, I yelled at a friend today who told me he's never seen any Indiana Jones movie. And I go, how dare you? And he goes, you're going to say, how dare you? I go, okay, it's hypocritical.
Yeah. No, but Tyler, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had a similar thing when I was a kid and watching Toxic Avenger. Toxic Avenger is like this, like low grade, like B movie. And the horror part is supposed to be that he's this like gross toxic monster, like ripping people apart. But there's a part in the beginning where these teenagers are like just going around trying to hit like a kid on a bike for points, like and they were just like so sadistic about it. And it was so crazy that like I wouldn't ride my bike for like about a month after that, because I was convinced they were going to be like teenagers out on the road like trying to kill me. So it's just, you're saying like funny what you were saying about like the real life horror versus like the the horror being part of it.
Yeah, I think the best horror movie I've seen in the last year or so was a movie called Barbarian. I think it's on HBO Max or whatever.
Oh yeah, dude, I saw that.
Yeah, that was good.
But great comedy, like of real life. Like you're scared in like the first couple of minutes on all real world stuff, like stuff that could really happen, and yet it still goes to like the absolute extreme. But in a lot of different ways. So a lot of different ways it can scare you and still be unexpected the whole way through. All right, we're 50 minutes in and we've only given away one prize, so I have to rectify that. It is prize time. So next up, I have and I saw a couple of people comment that they have not yet dove in and taken the Wailing Blade, which was Joe and Rich's last collaboration from also through ComixTribe. So I have another New York Comic Con exclusive cover right here, signed by both Rich and Joe. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these will also include, I'm also going to throw in a Wailing Blade enamel pin. So the last winner and this winner will also get a Wailing Blade enamel pin. So let's go to my wheel of names. Here we go. Where we got. And our winners were all backers who submitted, who contributed questions to this live stream. So what are the chances? Shane again. We're going to give Shane a little extra something, but I'm actually going to pick another one so that we spread the love out here a little bit. Strickland for the Wailing Blade prize, and then I'm actually going to do another one right now. A while back during I think an earlier launch, Rich had sent me 4 copies, signed copies of Sea of Sorrows #1, which was another one of his, and we sold. I think I had 5 of them, and one of them we never sold. So we've got a signed copy of Sea of Sorrows #1, and this is going to go to. This time I'm going to remove Shane and Chris here. That way we'll spread the love a little bit more. And Sea of Sorrows #1, signed by Rich Douek, by Alex Cormack of Sync fame. Well, congrats to Chris and Chris. Apparently, if your name is Chris, you're doing well here. All right, cool. Back to our questions here, and we're moving to a new section of questions that is focused around future projects and dream projects and other stuff that we have cooking up. So this one was Shane, who we just mentioned. He says, without spoiling and not having read issue 5, of course, any plans for more stories in this world? And then Billy Coley also asks, have you considered expanding the storyverse of Happy Hill? Yeah, like Joe, like, this is the 5 issues. It completes a volume, but thoughts on where it's been and where it could potentially go without giving away.
Yeah, well, I will give a little heads up that normally with ComixTribe, when you buy the issues, you get the story in totality. But then when we do a hardcover collection, we normally give like a little bit of a cliffhanger to what will bridge us to the next chapter in the story. That is something that I definitely have planned. Rich and I have not sat down to really like plan out every single bit of it, but I have the blueprint of it in my head. And I mean, listen, I'm just going to say it. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Like, Tyler, when you first read issue 5, did you see it going that way? Did you see Happy Hill
I knew there was going to be some of those twists because we had talked about them, but it was still fresh and surprising to me, even though I knew you were going to throw some angles at us. So, but
I think
it's excited that it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. There's a lag, so I think I was overstepping you.
No, I was just going to say I was like, it's satisfying because it ties up and it answers some of the questions that you've laid out throughout the mystery and the series, but also is a clear, fresh start, as it were. And so I think there's going to be a lot of interest in. All right. Now the story is getting started.
Yeah, right. And to me, the fun of that is the like. I always felt the pressure of like answering every single question or trying to tie everything up in a nice bow. But thanks to Rich being like, no, we don't have to. We can just come back to another volume and tell the story. Like the nice thing is we have the world set up, and I think the way this book ends, like it literally is just waiting. I mean, the same thing with Wailing Blade. It's waiting for the next chapter, right? Like they're there. The story, it's just us finding time to put it in and do it. But there's definitely the story narrative is in the way of future installments. Hopefully, we can get to it.
And just some nice praise from Billy Coley says, also just want to say I love your comics, the art, the stories, everything. Thanks for putting out such quality work.
Thanks, Billy.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for backing it. Thanks for checking it out.
This one is Nathan. This one is from Nathan. He says, wonderful story, amazing art. Any thoughts or connections toward animating this gem or providing other medium platforms for fan consumption?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're not the ones not making it into other stuff. So
yeah,
that's all I'll say.
I'd say, yeah, like the thought is we'd love to, but it's a lot of things have to line up before that could happen, but we would love to make that happen if it's at all possible.
If there are any producers or directors watching this, just know that the entire ComixTribe publishing line is the Bitcoin of comics. You just need to buy now, and you will reap the benefits later on.
That's right. Next up, and this is a question that we chatted a little bit about, and hit on a little bit, but Chris Strickland said, I've been into your stories for a while. I'm excited to see where you go next with the stories. And are there plans to return to some of your previous characters? And then also George Biggs wanted to know specifically about Wailing Blade. And so, from Joe, we've got Wailing Blade, Scam, Mummy's Always Right. Gutter Magic obviously is one of Rich's first series that he really got out there. And then Rich has been pretty consistent with his trilogy so far of books with Alex Cormack over at IDW, his horror books. And then also, Mummy's Always Right, Joe's children's book, Creature Code books. And I guess, so many stories, so little time, resources, etc. But
well, I can say here to anyone that wants to listen that we do know that there's a sequel to Mummy's Always Right coming. I have it written where I keep beating it up, and eventually I'm going to send it to Tyler. But that's a very immediate plan. And then Rich and I just need one afternoon in a several comfortable Williamsburg bars, and we'll lay out Wailing Blade Volume 2. And same thing with Happy Hill. So yeah, there's more to come.
Yeah. The desire is definitely there. I think it's just it's more like timing and like when we can do it.
Yeah. And I'll also say, like, one of the challenges with series is just like, okay, you know, when you invest in a series, that's one project, you know, that Joe can draw at a time, and more or less, and you know, Rich's bandwidth is limited, our publishing bandwidth is limited. But I will say things like seeing that, okay, you know, the Happy Hill series can do well serializing on Kickstarter. That at least lets us know, okay, well, you know, one option might be, instead of doing, you know, having to, you know, raise a ton of money, or, you know, rely on just comic book shops, is that some of these series could be, you know, the Kickstarter could be a funding model for breaking it up into multiple projects or multiple launches, so that, you know, you could see some of these things return. I'll also say, Joe, just I happen to be heading to my sister, who is 8 months pregnant now. She's having a little bridal shower, and she will be getting Mummy's Always Right in her a copy of Mummy's Always Right in her package of books for the bridal shower. So,
dude, I'm telling you, that I don't think I get more people emotional when they send stuff to me than with that book. Like, if I had to take a shot every single time someone said I cried reading one page to my kid, I would probably be dead right now. Like, it's unbelievable how many times people have told me that book is connected with them, as, you know, as moms, as grandmas, as aunts, as godmothers, reading it to a kid, which is awesome.
Yeah. And the Beer Doctor on YouTube wants to know, which is a great handle, by the way, wants to know, what projects are you working on now, and what can we expect to see next from you guys?
It depends on the publisher, because right now I have several things that are waiting for final approval. So who knows? It really depends. So there's so much stuff I've drawn that you've never seen. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've got it. Oh, sorry. Go, Tyler.
I was just going to say that's one of the downsides of being an artist, but also working with a publisher. It's nice they take a lot of it off your hands, but also you do the work. Your work is done, and then in terms of the timeline of when it actually sees light, just on to the next project, right? But yeah, Rich, what about yourself?
Yeah, I've got a few things in kind of in the hopper, but in the same kind of situation where they're waiting to get announced. But should have one being announced probably in like July or August. Another kind of fun horror book, and then I have a couple coming out later in the fall and early next year, just with a few different publishers. I think the next thing I have coming out that I can talk about, I did some more Magic the Gathering stuff. So it's coming out from Boom. We've got the hardcover of my run on the main title that should be out next month. And then the month after that, in August, we've got a one-shot called Planeswalkers Notorious that has a story in it from me and one from Cullen Bunn, if anyone's a fan of his. He's a great writer. So that's like what's immediately next. And then again, it's like a bunch of stuff that I unfortunately can't talk about, but the good thing is that it's a bunch of stuff. So you'll be seeing more of me on the comic book stands and all around.
Yeah, awesome. Sorry,
Chad,
here on the StreamYard. I try to shut us.
I just saw Chad's question. It's unfortunately not going to be another of series just yet, but it is going to have some familiar faces in there. So,
how blue are we allowed to talk on this? Because there is a of series that I really want Rich and Alex to do.
Oh yeah, well,
bag of, and then you fill in your favorite curse word. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
that maybe 2025, Joe. We'll get to that. We'll see.
All I know is I'm editing that. That I want editorial reign on that.
Thanks, Chad. I really appreciate that. Glad you dug Breath of Shadows. That was a big one for me too. Love doing that book.
Okay, just so I know, everyone, I will not take positive affirmations about Alex Cormack. Everybody knows that Alex Cormack is legitimately my comic nemesis.
Well, he's great at drawing backgrounds, Joe. So
it's just awful. What's your next book going to be?
Huh?
Lack of backgrounds? Is that the name of the book?
It's in the desert. He's just gonna have to draw a line.
God, it's so obnoxious. So obnoxious. Hey Joe, here's a scene for you. 10,000 people in a stadium. Hey Alex, here's some background for you. Fluffy snow, just white, puffy, fluffy snow.
The void of space. Yeah. So this is a great question and topic that we love, and something we were talking a little bit about. A question from backer Fred Cheney, super backer Fred Cheney. Sorry, that's like it's like calling a congressman, but not by their name, or a judge, not your honor. Super backer Fred Cheney. ComixTribe consistently puts out great comics. What is the next project ComixTribe is going to release? Oh wait, this is that is actually a different question. Sorry. So one of our backers asked, any chance of a ComixTribe crossover and with other characters or the shared ComixTribe universe? And so I'd love to hear in the comments, like, if you could mash up any two ComixTribe characters from different universes or different situations or whatever from our backlist, what would you like to see? And I actually put out to the group, to our ComixTribe channel today, we've got a 15-year anniversary coming up, actually, surprisingly, in terms of 15 years of ComixTribe being in existence. And what if we did a ComixTribe crossover, just call it that, and it's just like an anthology of shorts of just like stories where we finally did, as Chad Johnson says, Mr. Dig versus the Woodsman.
First of all, I'm not going to do that to Mr. Dig. You know what I mean? Like, he's beloved. I wouldn't have the Woodsman use his or her, you haven't seen the 5th issue, powers, so you don't know what it is. But I will say this. Maybe we do, instead of an anthology, maybe we do like ComixTribe United, where we all chime in and do one narrative story.
And not only that, you can only draw your own character that you created. So we're going to have to FedEx pages.
I love it.
All of different artists. Yeah, that almost worked.
Could all work on the scripts in Google Docs, like dueling.
Or we have to we get an Airbnb in like an exotic location, and we rent it out for a month, and we have to work around the clock while filming it, while live streaming it. This will be a new ComixTribe reality show.
No, hold on. I'm building on your pyramid here. Yeah. What we're gonna do is a location is too static. It's too in one area. What I need is an RV. We rent an RV. We drive across the country, and we do the book going from one coast to the other while stopping at shops and doing signings.
Sounds pretty good. I mean, I'm like, Joe draws standing up, so
well, that is true.
But I'm curious how good you do, how well you'd be able to be getting your pages done in a bumpy RV.
You know what? It would be a new style. I have no problem with it. I always need to adapt and change.
It might help.
I'm fine with it.
It might help.
I think we all need to go to our partners and say, hey, here's an idea. We want to YouTube a channel for a month while we drive cross country. Do you mind watching and doing stuff with the kids? Probably not going to fly, but at the same time, it's worth putting together. You know what I mean?
We got to, you know, we can't let the fans down. Chad says, "Come to Texas, you cowards." Hey, go Cowboys, Chad, is all I have
Hold
to
on.
say.
First of all, I'm not going to have this place be hijacked by Cowboy talk. The New York Jets have Aaron Rodgers. We have a window of maybe 3 to 4 weeks of happiness this year. I shan't let you poop on that. But where are you in Texas, and what is your local shop, Chad? Respond back. Oh, there we go. What do we got?
Shout out a local.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Like, do you guys remember the book? And I was thinking about this a little while ago. There used to be like a DC book that you can go in. I forget, like when we were younger, that was like almost like an encyclopedia of DC characters.
Yeah, the DC one was called Who's Who.
Who's Who? Yes.
The Marvel one was the official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
What a fun thing that would be to do for ComixTribe.
Mm.
Right? Just
Would
saying,
be cool.
Tyler.
Yeah.
We're just spitballing here.
We're just spitballing. Yeah, no, man. We got to do the pinup book. I think at some point, like the coffee table book, like the massive, oversized.
That turns into a coffee table. That's got to be done.
Yeah, was that trademarked by Cosmo Kramer? I don't want to get into.
Was it? I don't know.
All right.
Hold on.
Next.
Hold on. Chad said, "Come to Texas." Then he said, "The Cowboys do something, either pro or con, however you want to look at it." And he's an Eagles fan. Chad, my friend, you literally are very confused. How do you live in Texas yet you root for the Chad? I'm just going to give you my personal number. You might have to call me because we have to discuss this. Sports fandom is something I don't understand because I'm enraptured in it myself. You cannot be an Eagles fan living in Dallas. There's no way that flag is going in your front yard. No way.
Chad's got family from New Jersey, so again, that's even worse. He should be East Rutherford, you know.
Yeah.
he should be in your corner.
In Denver doesn't mean I'm a Broncos fan. Jesus.
He should be excited about Mr. Inoculated coming to
Mr. Inoculated. By the way, that's a new ComixTribe character coming 2024. Mr. Inoculated.
Nice. So this was a question from Fred Cheney. ComixTribe consistently puts out great comics. Thank you, Fred. What's the next project ComixTribe is going to release? And then Rich and Joe, have you made any plans on your next collaboration as well? So you guys can answer that in a sec. I will say, like, the very next thing that we'll probably release will be the next Sync launch, which will continue the Sync saga. And what I love about this next volume of Sync is that each issue you're going to be seeing more and more of the characters that sort of each got standalone issues starting to smash with each other. And the stakes just get raised to a whole new level in this next volume, while John is also telling like his first sort of ongoing Sync mystery throughout the volume 3. So that is really good. And then lo and behold, surprise, surprise, this is something that like I haven't really talked much about, but we have, it looks like there might be more epic. Surprise, surprise. Matt Zollman is like almost done with, it should be done by the end of the month, with a full issue that actually picks up exactly where the story left off. And Matt's sort of in a total different part of his, or in a different stage of his life where he actually has the time to draw, and he has been sort of drawing epic book, just like drawing more epic comics like on the side for past year and a half or so, and so we talked about it. Well, why don't we just let's keep telling the story, and you know what? It's okay if comics take breaks, and we still have some of the like a great cover from FICO Ocio, who is now like doing DC and IDW stuff all the time. But so yeah, we may actually continue the story that left off a long time ago. So that's kind of exciting, kind of fun. I've been dusting off my writing chops and diving back into this super teen action comedy, which is just a fun, super fun book, and has a lot of stuff that I always loved about comics. So that may be coming sooner than anyone would have guessed. But other things that you and Joe might want to work on, or like, even if there's not a project that's like imminent, I don't know, Rich, what kind of thing would you like to work with Joe on, or vice versa?
An Oyster Tower. That would be number one.
Yeah.
We can't say anything about the erotic autobiography of Dolly Parton by graphic novel. That we can't discuss right now. That's still in the negotiation process. But Rich and I do have stuff that we're working on together, like pitches along with existing stuff. I don't know. I'll work with Rich anytime, any day.
Yeah, I think like Joe's somebody that as long as I'm making comics, I want to be making comics with him. So we're always kicking ideas back and forth. I think we even got together like probably more than a few months ago, but it was a while back, where we were just sort of like made a list of like ideas and stuff that like we wanted to work on. So I think we have like plenty of stuff. It's a lot of it is sort of deciding which one we want to work on first. So we're definitely working on stuff. And we do want to get back to Wailing Blade and Happy Hill at some point. So we'll see.
And let's be honest, if we do get back to them, like the nice thing about ComixTribe and about crowdfunding and about Kickstarter is that like we get to do stuff like this. Like you don't get to do stuff like this for just I mean maybe you could, but we don't do it for anybody else but like the backers and all that stuff. So like I'd like to know if people want to see something specifically from us. Like we've tackled fantasy, we've tackled horror. Like, is there a genre you would like to see us work together in?
Yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of people would also say that they'd love to see you guys take a crack at a big two book, on an X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, a Sabretooth book, an Iron Fist book,
or something, or
that would be heaven. That'd be heaven.
I've seen some of Joe's takes on the. Jay Burns says a Western. That.
Listen, I'm in.
We did talk about how Joe bounces around from genre to genre.
It's true.
So I'm hearing
like drawing horses,
romance
Joe?
Western. Romance Western is what I'm doing.
Yeah, Westerns are fun.
Nice.
There's a lot of good Western comics.
All right, we're going to give away a couple more prizes. Yeah, there's like one of the I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but I've interviewed the guy, and like there's a Kickstarter series that absolutely crushes it. That's Western. But let me. I'm gonna give away a few more prizes. Next up is more Wailing Blade stuff. I have. This is the Wailing. Serial numbered, only 125 of these produced, also signed by both Joe and Rich, and a 64-page book that has the script side by side with the some lettered line art. Very cool title. Going to pull that right now. Let me jump over to my wheel of names and get it spinning. As long as, come on, here we go. Come on. All right, here we go. Close. Fred Chaney is going home with that bad boy. All right.
All right, Fred.
Congrats, Fred. And we're going to one more right here. And this is a Wailing Blade Artist Edition that was actually Anthony Christou, who actually has a Kickstarter coming out very soon. Anthony drew this Artist Edition sketch cover, and it drew and colored it, and with a badass rendition of the head taker. So this one, kind of a cool item, is going to go to right. Coley's taking home an Artist Edition sketch. Congrats,
Billy
and
Coley.
thanks again, Billy, for backing and for also participating in our giveaway. All right, cool. We have one grab bag question, and this was pinned in, who I think is a big werewolf fan. Is what's the likelihood of adding more werewolves to the mix? Ow! Werewolf book. When's it coming? Rich, Joe, you guys got any werewolf stories?
I mean, I think my werewolf book is where WHERE question mark wolf question mark, and that's it. I'm not going to even go into it more. That's just my pitch. That's the story. Where wolf, and that's it.
Well, you got a little werewolf in Mummy there, don't you?
That's
Joe?
true. Mooney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do have a werewolf series coming out next year, so look for it like next spring. Don't want to say the publisher because it's not announced yet, and it's going to be a while before it is. But it is. It's going to be like a dark fantasy story that features werewolves in it. So,
well, since you're so keen on announcing your book, I'm going to announce my new book. And Tyler, I'm sorry to spoil the surprise. I have a book coming out called Bearwolf, which is about. I don't know why you're laughing, dude. You didn't even hear the story yet. It's Bearwolf, about a guy who just likes to run around naked, screaming that he just transformed back from being a werewolf. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Read the series to find out. Bearwolf, coming next year.
Yeah. This is this is what happens when you sign Mulvey to an exclusive.
Just got to pump out the IP.
He's got to pump out that IP. Got to pump it out, and it's a 12 issue. It's 12 issues minimum, full frontal.
Yeah, every page is splash page, no panels.
Nice. And I think that was the last of the questions, but we do have just some awesome praise that some of our fans dropped in the chat. Jeff George said, amazing piece of work. I can't wait to read it, and a well-ran campaign. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Ed Hogan said, I recently discovered ComixTribe Comics with the last 2 Kickstarter campaigns. I played catch up and purchased a lot of books available. Really enjoy the stories, the artwork, and different characters, and the demeanor. Great stuff. Looking forward to new ventures and hunting for the old stories. Thanks for putting out such great quality comics. Yeah, I think Ed is another backer that's just been, discovered us somewhat recently. And that's one of the best things about Kickstarter is we've been grinding, doing this thing, going to shows, launching projects out in the comic shops, doing free comic book day. And yet every time we launch, we pick up some new backers, and some of those new backers end up turning to be, fans like Ed that then go back and do a deep dive into the ComixTribe archive. And cool thing is there's a lot out there for him to dive deep into. So, thanks, Ed. Appreciate that. Also, Christopher Babcock said, jumped on this Kickstarter to get my hands on the complete series. And Really enjoyed all of Rich's collaborations with Alex. Sorry, Joe. And I'm sure I'm going to love to get to know Joe's work as well. ComixTribe is hands down my favorite publisher I've discovered since getting back into the community in 2020. Yeah, that's awesome to hear, huh?
Except for the praise for Alex, but yes, the rest of it was great.
I saw that the Beer Doctor over on YouTube said you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep backing you. And actually, Joe, that's Jason, I believe, who is the guy who's you have on your wall right now for the final one pager that's going to be in the back of Happy Hill.
Oh, that's the Beer Doctor. I was going to say, how did he get the PhD? Because I'd like to know the way to go about that. Yeah, I'm drawing it as we speak. It's being inked tonight. So yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So we'll get that inked up in the book, and then the original out to Jason as well. And that was one of the cool things that we were able to do in the Happy Hill #1 launch is we had some premium pledge levels where you could actually get yourself in a one-pager Happy Hill story, getting violently murdered by the woodsman. And our backers, our fans, that's something that they really dig. And so Joe's been drawing these up. Rich has been doing a great job weaving a little bit of personal flavor into each of these one-pagers and making kind of a really cool thing. That's another thing that like the Kickstarter just makes possible, and really cool that we can do that. Brian Amos says, this is my own fault as I forgot to back things way too much, but finally back this series, which looks amazing, and can't wait to read the whole set. Never too late, unless you don't back between now and midnight, right? So
then it's too late, right?
Yeah, be like Brian. Don't miss out. Jump in and join Happy Hill. Anthony says, can't wait to read the series. Of all your books have been very high. All your books have been very high quality. Thanks for the time and effort you guys put in. A lot of time and effort goes into these books, huh, Joe?
Yes. Yeah. But also like as much time we put into making the books, we put in just as much time having fun talking about the books. Like, you know, I can't speak for Tyler, but I can speak for Rich. We have a great time, like trying to make the world, trying to make it as exciting as possible, trying to make, the intent of my books are from cover to cover. You have a great time and you forget the world you live in, and you can escape for however many minutes it takes you. I hope it takes you a couple of more minutes than just grazing over, because I spend a lot of time drawing things. But yeah, man, I'm a big proponent of any book with my name on it has to like hopefully stand the test of time. That at least you can, you know, when you put your money down, you're getting hard work and creators that are trying to make the best product for you.
Absolutely. And then our final comment was from Mason Brown, who said, it's my first time entering Happy Hill, but very familiar ComixTribe backer. He backed recently A Fistful of Pain from Ryan K. Lindsay and Louis Joyce, and Sync 11 from John Lees and Alex Cormack. And he said he can't wait to read the first arc of this cool-looking series. It looks fantastic. So thanks again, Mason, for coming on board and checking it out. Going to do one more bonus giveaway here. And this one is another one that was kicking around. And this is actually super cool sketch cover Joe did at probably at a convention a while back. And yeah, 2018, but this is just kind of this one. And we're going to part with this for an awesome backer. So let's see who's going to take home this final prize. Spinning the wheel.
You know, Pat Sajak did retire, Tyler. You could be the new host.
What are the chances that the last comment would also like That's gonna look like that was staged, but that was actually completely random. That our last comment was also our last winner. But congrats, Mason! You're getting a super
Congrats.
cool piece of original one-of-one work there. So yeah, I want to also this is probably going to break my computer if I hit refresh, but we're heading into the 80. So it just went from hours to minutes. It looks like we just went over the 11K mark, which means we're going to be hooking up all backers $40 or more with a bonus variant of some sort. And so, yeah, jump in now or between now and midnight, and we're going to be rocking it until the very end here. But we're going to wrap up this live stream shortly. But yeah, we're closing in on 375 backers, one away. Final thought?
I'm going to say it very quickly. Wyatt Willows, Thea Ridley are two best friends that grew up together, went through a very traumatic early experience in life, and every question that they have is answered in the vacation destination place called Happy Hills. It is fun, it's funny, it's horrific, it's scary, it's thrilling, it's enjoyable, and hopefully if myself and Rich and Chris Sotomayor and Tyler and Hassan did our jobs right, you can escape into the world of nonsense and peril from cover to cover. Pick up the books, you'll have a great time. And if you don't enjoy them, please contact me and I will tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah. Just wanted to thank everyone for backing it, and thanks for coming on the live stream and hanging out. I had a great time answering your questions and hanging out with Joe and Tyler. Always up for that. So yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you guys when we're back for the hardcover and maybe Happy Hill too. We'll see.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure creating great stuff with you all, and for doing it for fans that appreciate the work and are there to support it in all ways. So want to acknowledge them for being a big part of just keeping the engines running here at ComixTribe Central. And thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday night. And we have let's see how high we can get this thing before it wraps up at midnight. But until then,
hold on. Wait. Before you sign off, can I just ask a question of everyone in the chat, everyone here? Do we say Happy Hill 2 for the next part, or do we say Happier Hill?
Happy
Which one do
Hills?
we go with?
Or Happy Hills?
Or write in. If you have another idea, write in. I'm fine with it. Happiest? Happy, like, can we
Sad
just add
Hills?
that on? What is that?
Yeah. I feel it. I mean, and then also I feel like you have to go pretty deep in the series before you can just abandon all naming conventions, a la like the Fast and the Furious saga.
Yeah.
Where you don't know what they're doing now. But yeah, that would be a good question of if there is a sequel, what is it? Is it Happy Hill 2? Happy Hill Deuce Part 2?
Happy Hill Part 2. Yeah. Happy Plains. We just abandon the hill. We just go with the terrain.
Yeah.
That's it. Who knows?
Nice. Well, yeah, this was great, guys. Always a pleasure hanging out with you. Always a pleasure hanging out with the fans. And we're excited to get this book in your hands. It will not be long because Joe has been hard at work at the book. We got that one. He's putting the finishing touches on that one pager, and then this book is ready to print. And it's going to be off to the presses shortly and out into backers' hands as long as you're a backer. So jump on over happyhill.comixtribe.com. I've been Tyler James. We got Rich Douek, Joe Mulvey. thank you so much, everybody, for
Thanks a lot,
letting us
guys.
Take care, everybody.
You.